My husband divorced me after 12 years of marriage and left me with nothing but our 2 young kids, with nowhere else to go. I took them to my parents' house during one of the worst heat waves the city had ever seen. But when I showed up exhausted, desperate, and begging for help, my own family looked me in the eyes and said, "Sorry, there's no space for you here." Hey y'all, my name is Sarah, and this is the real story of how my own family turned their backs on me when I needed them the most, and how I rose up and built a whole new life without them. After 12 years of marriage, my husband blindsided me with divorce papers. No discussion, no warning, nothing. He just said he was done and left me with our 2 kids, 8-year-old Mia and 6-year-old Noah, and almost no financial support. I was completely devastated, crying every night, trying to hold it together for the kids. For years I had been the rock of my family. I worked full-time at a big marketing company, climbing the ladder while also being the one everyone called when they needed money. "Sarah, can you help with Dad's medical bills?" "Sarah, my car broke down again." "Sarah, we're short on the mortgage this month." One call from them and I was always there. No questions asked. I genuinely thought that meant something. That blood meant loyalty. So when everything fell apart, I did what I thought was natural. I packed up our stuff, took the hot crowded bus with the kids, and went straight to my parents' house. It was during one of the worst heat waves the city had ever seen. Temperatures over 110 degrees Fahrenheit with crazy humidity. The kids were miserable, sweating, and exhausted. When we finally got there, I was drenched in sweat, holding Noah's little hand. His face and arms were already starting to burn from the sun. I begged them, "Mom, please, just let us in for a little while. Noah has a bad sunburn, and the heat is killing us. I don't have anywhere else to go right now. I'll figure something out soon. I promise." My mom looked at me, then at the kids, and shook her head. "Sarah, there's no space for you guys here. We don't have room." My dad stood behind her, arms crossed, saying nothing. My younger brother, who lived there rent-free and never worked much, just shrugged and said, "Yeah, sorry sis. We're kind of full right now." I stood there in the blazing sun, tears mixing with sweat on my face, begging them to at least take the kids inside to cool down. But they closed the door. They actually closed the door on their own daughter and grandkids. That night from the heat and the sunburn, I barely slept, just lying there thinking about how the same family I had supported for years could turn me away like that. The very next morning, I made a decision that changed everything. I stopped all the financial help I had been giving them. No more paying Dad's medical bills. No more helping with the house. No more emergency money for my brother's problems. I sent them a simple message. If there's no space for me and my kids when we needed help the most, then I'm done supporting you guys financially. Then I went all in on my own life. I worked extra hours at the marketing company, took on bigger projects, and pushed hard for a promotion. I found a small but nice 2-bedroom apartment with good air conditioning. I got the kids into a great school nearby. Within 6 months, I had completely rebuilt our lives from the ground up. We had stability. We had peace. We had a real home. Meanwhile, my family started feeling what it was like when the person who always helped suddenly stopped. First, my dad ended up in the hospital with some health complications. My mom called me crying, "Sarah, please, we need help with the hospital bills. You've always been there for us." I didn't reply. Then my brother called a few weeks later. "Sis, my car broke down again. Can you send some money for the repairs? I really need it." I read the message. and didn't reply. The silence from my side spoke louder than any words. For the first time, they felt the weight of what they had done, turning away their own daughter and grandkids. When we were desperate in the middle of a deadly heat wave, 6 months after that horrible day on their doorstep, I had built an entirely new life. I got promoted at work. I made new friends who actually show up for me. Mia is thriving in school and making new friends. And Noah is happy, healthy, and finally smiling again. I learned one of the hardest lessons in life. Blood doesn't always mean loyalty. Sometimes the people who are supposed to love you the most are the quickest to close the door when you need them. If you've ever been rejected by your own family when you were down, if you've been the one carrying everyone financially only to be turned away when you needed shelter and kindness, you are not alone. You don't owe anyone your peace or your money when they won't even give you basic humanity. You can stop pouring into empty cups. You can build a new life from nothing. And sometimes the best revenge is living well while they sit with their regrets. Drop A. If you believe you should never feel guilty for putting your own children first. Drop A. If you've ever had to cut off toxic family to protect your peace. Share your story in the comments. Your words might give strength to another mom who's struggling right now. You've got this, mama. Stop running to people who won't even open the door for you. Build your own table, fill it with love, and watch how strong you become. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep supporting each other.